13 weeks down and 4 more to go. That's it. 4 weeks left. Man, it's almost Christmas time. It's crazy. The older you get, the faster time goes by, especially in terms of sports. It's crazy. All right, but anyways, it's time for the updated weekly power rankings. As always, I rank all 32 teams 32-1. You can see those rankings in the description box down below. What can I talk about this week? Well, you look at the bottom, 49ers stay at last place. They deserve it. I mean, they're bad. Hey, I guess you can get into a fight about which team's worse in the Bay, the Raiders or the 49ers. And at this point, does it really matter? I mean, you could say you could give the tie-breaking edge to the 49ers because they beat the Raiders, but it feels like it doesn't really matter, does it? You could say 31A and 31B, and I might go ahead. I'm just going to update the rankings and say 31A and 31B because it really doesn't matter because they're clearly the 2 worst teams in the league. Followed closely by the Jets. Boy, oh boy, you had a little bit of hope there early on in the year, and you lost that hope very, very quickly. Todd Bowles can't be gone quick enough if you're a fan of that team. The Arizona Cardinals got a win in Lambeau, but the Packers aren't very good. And the Cardinals still stink. The Jaguars, yeah, they got a win, but they still only scored 6 points, so give me a break. It's actually kind of crazy to me to think that the Bills at 4-8, I would take them over several of those teams where there was some thought that maybe the Bills could end up being the worst team in the league this year. That hasn't quite manifested itself. Look at the Packers, though, at 26th, and it's every bit deserved. 4-7-1, they stink. They absolutely stink. There's no way that could happen, but it has happened. And again, Mike McCarthy absolutely deserved to be shown the door after that embarrassing performance Sunday at Lambeau, period. When I look at the top of the rankings, you look at the Cowboys and Seahawks at 11 and 10. Especially we start with the Seahawks, you're talking about a team that nobody had any really high expectations for. Obviously, they're not going to win the division. That's owned up by the Rams. But the Seahawks at 7 and 5 can still make some noise, potentially get into the playoffs. And once you get into the playoffs with an experienced coach with championship pedigree, an experienced quarterback with championship pedigree, who knows what could happen? You look at the Dallas Cowboys. If their offensive line plays well, if Zeke is used as a force both on the ground and in the passing game, Dak limits his mistakes, you get something out of Amari Cooper in the passing game, and that defensive front 7 plays as well as it has recently, the Dallas Cowboys at 7 and 5 right now could be a team that could scare you and make a little bit of noise come playoff time. I look at the Baltimore Ravens, another 7 and 5 team. And it's exciting to see Lamar Jackson get some starts under his belt this year as a rookie season, win his first 3 starts. Sure, it hasn't always been the prettiest thing from a passing standpoint, but he's had some nice plays as a passer, and he's certainly made some big plays with his feet. I just, again, can't understand why the Ravens would be in any rush to go back to Joe Flacco at this point. Lamar, you've won 3 in a row with. Your offense is more prolific and more productive with Lamar on the field. Stay with Lamar, and if he falters at a bad time, then you could always bring Joe out of the bullpen. But right now, I'm staying with Lamar. The Steelers at number 8, they're such a maddeningly frustrating team. A couple of weeks ago, they had so much momentum. They looked so good. Then they lose to a Broncos team that they shouldn't be losing to. And then they found a way to piss away this game Sunday night against the Chargers. That just can't happen. And now they've lost James Conner for at least a week with a high ankle sprain or contusion, whatever the heck it is. You can't dismiss the Steelers, but it's really hard to fully embrace them. Just kind of like it is the Bears and different reason. The Bears I got at 7. That was a bad loss to the Giants. They wanted to come back and win it. They tried to at one point, but total team loss, can't have it happen. Whereas the Houston Texans haven't lost in over 2 months. After starting off 0-3, they've won 9 in a row. That's historic stuff. That's an impressive turnaround by Bill O'Brien, Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, that entire Houston Texans team to get into the mix of where they're trying to bang out with the Patriots for a 2 seed right now. And as crazy as it sounds, it's not out of the realm of possibility if they somehow won their last 4 games and the Chiefs lost 2 more and the Patriots lost 1 more game. The Texans aren't out of the mix for the number 1 overall seed and home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. Unlikely, yes, but technically a possibility. Isn't that nuts? Same thing for the Chargers. Certainly in the mix for the 2 seed. Still possibly in the mix for the 1 seed. Have a chance to win that division still. 9-3. They got as many wins as Rivers has made kids. That's outstanding. And not just for the Chargers. Phillip Rivers, you're a hero, sir. A hero, sir. And in the meanwhile, the Chargers, if you get anything out of Bosa, what Derwin James is doing, you've got some star talent there on defense. You've got an offense that is playing really well. Rivers playing damn near as well, I think, as he has at any point in time in his career. This Chargers team is a team you probably don't want to play in the playoffs. You really, really don't. 4, you look at the New England Patriots. It's just the same old thing every year, isn't it? Same old Patriots, same old boring ass, win a bunch of games and be a force come January Patriots. No different this year. The Chiefs are sitting at 3, they're 10-2. You trade away Alex Smith, you bring in Mahomes, and you're even better. Imagine that. Number 2, the New Orleans Saints. I can't bag on them too much for that loss on Thursday because it was a short week, road game. Teams in that spot traditionally don't do that well. And it's not like they got boat raced or their asses totally kicked. They just didn't play a good game, and the Cowboys played better and deserved to win. But the Saints right now are still one of the few elite teams in the National Football League and a real Super Bowl threat. Number 1, though, has to be the Los Angeles Rams. They're 11-1. They've already clinched their playoff spot, clinched their division. Best record in football. Stars on offense, stars on defense. You wonder if this is a team that's potentially ripe for upset because they do have a bunch of stars on defense, but their defense really doesn't play that well. It really is feast or famine. But right now, the Rams are right at the top of things where they've pretty much been all year long. If you had to take a look, though, right now at these power rankings, who do you think is going to make the Super Bowl? If you had to make that call right now. If I absolutely had to make that call right now, I would probably say it would be the Saints and it would maybe be the Patriots. But it's still a few weeks left before we even get to the playoffs where we even have to make those stone cold predictions.